Make real change. Make change real. The process is beautiful. Empower your mentality to make real change to the world. This is Coach King. I just wanted to take the time. Sorry, I'm going to turn myself up so I can hear myself. I'm like that. So anyway, so I've taken a quick intersection. Some will, oh, you were distracted. Nope, no, it wasn't a distraction. It was intentional. But anyway, we're talking about the idea of change, and we're moving into the next segment, which is development. But to develop, you have to ask yourself, can I grow? And I like the idea of asking yourself a question. So asking yourself, you literally are challenging yourself by making yourself answer this question: can I grow? And it's yes or no. You can be, well, maybe. No, that doesn't even. I think you'd be psychotic to say maybe. He's like, can I grow? Nah, I can't. I can't grow right now. Or yes, I can grow right now. But it challenges you to make a decision. And so that's the idea of development is, can I grow? Well, when you're being developed, you have nothing else but to change some type of development. You're developing. Like kids don't have an option. They become adults unless there's a disease, right? Development is something that you can't really escape, but development can be intentional. Okay. So you ask yourself, can I grow? Now I go to 1 Corinthians 3 and 6, and that's kind of like the basis of it. I think there's more scripture to be had. So if you want to go to Corinthians chapter 3 and just kind of read it, it says, I planted the seed in your heart. Apollos watered it, but it was God who made it grow. So the growth is not determined by us. We don't determine growth, right? The seeds are planted in us. Then whoever has the gift of development comes and waters you, right? But God actually gives you the growth. So you can give a person so many things, right? Watering could be pouring into them, right? I'm pouring into you. Your pastor, I'm pouring into you. If you have a boss, they're saying, hey, learning opportunity. Come here, let's learn, right? So growth begins with a whisper in your soul, a stirring that asks, can I become more than I am now, right? That is we'll get into this later, but that's a resilience piece that you'll need to get through the pain of development, okay? So when you ask, can I become more than I am now, really that's a resiliency mindset. That means you're ready to grow, right? You automatically answered yes. It's a feeling that there's something that is greater on the inside of me, right? Something's greater on the inside. I feel like there's something more. It's not just merely about reaching the higher places, but it's about deepening the roots of your understanding. It's about perpetuating a spirit that creates an environment of learning. So development is this consistent pattern of learning. True growth is both where? Inside and outside. So internal and external, but it's also eternal. Okay. It is what happens when your purpose meets process. Okay. So the thing that you are intentional about, you know that this is what you're supposed to do, it meets a system. Okay. When this happens, development occurs. Okay. So when your purpose, your why meets your process or the system, then it has to come together. Okay. So growth develops through this thing we call development. And development unfolds through the system or the process that it goes through. Okay. So you begin to develop when you go through that system, when you go through that process. That's when development starts to happen. And to grow, we must first understand that development does it's more than one event. It's not singular. There's no such thing as a singular event. And now I'm developing this new person. No, it doesn't work that way. But it's continual. It's a continuous perpetuation. It's a continual becoming. So, like a farmer who tills the land, it's a parable of the seed and sower. Like the farmer who tills the land, sows the seed, and waits with patience, right? Long suffering, just kind of waiting with an expectation that something's going to happen, but you don't know what it is, right? That's kind of patience. It's like, I don't know exactly what to expect, but I know that I'm expecting something, right? So you're sitting there waiting patience. Your spirit is like, ooh, okay, all right, let's do this. Like inside of you, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm waiting, right? Development requires work, time, and faith. Now, for people who, don't agree with faith as a word, well, belief. Okay, whatever you believe. So Jesus illustrates this beautifully in the parable of the sower. He reveals that growth is not about the seed itself, okay, but it's about the environment that surrounds it. Okay. So as he was scattering seed, Matthew 13, for reference, 3 through 8, some seeds fell on the path. Okay. And I'm paraphrasing. Some on rocky places. So remember these places. Some among thorns, and some on good soil. Every seed has potential, but only the right environment produced lasting fruit. That's the message. That is the secret of development. Okay. Every seed can grow, but not every environment can sustain the growth. Message. Okay. Development then is the careful shaping of environment. And this allows whatever the potential that you have to flourish. So it's the environment that shapes the potential of your life. Okay. The potential of what you're intending to do. Okay. It is more than just progressing. Development is not just it's not just progressing. It's about placement. So it's about where you're put. Okay? It's what you're called to if you're churchy. Okay? But it's more about where you're placed. It's the job that you have. Can you develop the skills you need to go to the level that you're trying to go? Can you develop in the role? You hear leaders talk about that, managers and good people. Good leaders talk to their staff about advancement. This is what I need you to learn, right? I need you to get this certification in order to do your job. Okay? But not every environment can sustain the growth. That means you outgrow the position. So what do? Promote you. That's why they have levels to your career. Okay. Development then is the careful shaping of the environment, and it allows potential to flourish. It's more about the soil. So when you look at the seed and the sower, it's about soil. And it's the conditions of the soil that matter the most. So if we drill down the environment and you say, I need to make a decision, can I grow? Well, look at the environment around you first. Okay. When you discover that environment, the company we keep matters. Okay. So the people around you matter. The team matters because you are not the seed. Okay. So let's depersonify the fact that we are seeds, right? No. Potential is the seed. The potential of what? Of our intentions. So really, you're sowing that someplace because you want that potential of whatever it is that you need developed to grow. And if we're talking about you're not necessarily the seed. You're the sower. The sower is the one that benefits from it. You are the farmer tending to the field of your own destiny. You just have to pick the right environment. You determine where the seed is planted, okay, how it is nourished, and what grows from it. What grows from it is what you choose, right? You choose what area you want to develop in, right? This is your personal development. When your ideas are taken, overlooked, or misunderstands, it still serves a purpose. And we're talking about an environment that's called the path. Okay. Somewhere it is being nourished. So whether your ideas grow or not, as long as you sow them, right, somewhere, they will nourish somebody. You may not benefit from it, okay? But it's still growth. Okay? It still has a purpose. Growth always finds a way to give life. So when you say, yes, I can develop, or you made the decision, I want more, you're already ready for it. So whatever it is during that season, that intention will always grow something, because intentional saying, yes, I need more, will always give life to something, even if it doesn't benefit you. Okay? Every environment that we encounter in life mirrors one of the four soils. So the path is where ideas start, or where your ideas are ignored or taken. So the path is when people just don't pay attention to what you're trying to do. All of us have had ideas, or we just feel like we're just ignored. We're taken for granted. So they're saying, you're on the path. You're on the right path. You're on the right path now. You're on the right path. So somebody took your idea. You stole it, because the environment you have was on the path. Okay. So if you sow along the path, just know somebody's going to take your idea. Okay. So if you sow on the rocky ground, that's where your potential exists. That's where seeds can exist, right? So you're going to sow it on some rocks, right? I'm going to sow it on the rocks. But you don't have the support that you need. So you're out here by yourself trying to sow rocks. You're trying to put your potential, you're trying to put your idea, your business plan, and do it alone. It's rocky ground, brother. You can't do this by yourself. Don't sow the idea, put it in motion, do the business, do it alone. Okay. Then the next one is you put it among thorns. Well, this one, be careful, okay? Because where growth begins, it is always choked out by the opposition, and or fear, or subconscious limiting beliefs in that idea. Like you doubt it, right? So sowing your intentions in a place of thorns, it's like things will grow, but you're met with so many oppositions. People poke holes through the idea, which leads to you second guessing whether you should be doing this or not. Okay? Because your environment is full of thorns. Because when you sowed it, you didn't know that these people weren't really for you. When you sowed it, you didn't know that they were actually hyper critical of you. It's all about development now. We've all experienced that. You bring an idea to a boss and you're the new guy. And that boss doesn't really care too much for you. So what do? They take your ideas and they shoot them with a shotgun, 12 gauge, to the idea, blowing holes through it. Will not consider it. Okay? So what happens? You stop sharing. You stop sharing. However, we know the parable. And if you don't, there's another environment, which is the good soil. This is where your ideas can actually take root. Okay? Because ideas need time. Okay? And your intention needs time for it to grow. But it also grows down first. So it has to take a root in order for it to grow up. And the good soil is the only place where a root can really, really take place. And when roots take place, they're nurtured and they produce abundance. Okay. And so when you're developing and when you're looking for this and you're looking where can you grow, it's more about where. Where can you grow? Each one teaches us something. It's vital. Okay. It's about development. The growth depends not only on how and what we sow, but where we sow it. The responsibility of this development is really to discern the environments, organizational, relational, spiritual, and things that either drain or help develop us. When we begin to see development through this lens, growth becomes intentional. Okay, so I keep using this word intention, right? We no longer wait for opportunities to appear. We create environments that cultivate those opportunities. Okay, development demands discernment. Okay, it requires the courage to walk away from anything that's unfruitful. So soil that's not producing the outcome that you need, walk away from it, get away from it, and wisdom to nurture what God has placed within reach. So the idea of change, it comes in 4 distinct ways of development. Okay. And we'll talk about these next time. But we're going to talk about personal development, social development, economic development, and technological development. And each one of these represents a field in which we grow, in which we are being cultivated. But before we can transform systems or lead others, we must first tend to our own field. All right. Make change real. The process is beautiful. Empower your mentality, make real change in the world. It's Coach King. Peace out.